Welcome to the Infinity Academy discussion on economics as a component of general studies for the mains examination. As you know, the mains is a descriptive examination, and here one has to write the essay type answers. And in this conceptual subject like economics, it's very worth noting that what exactly are the strategy and aspects to study the economics for the mains. So welcome to all of you for the discussion by me, Bhushan Deshmukh. So starting from beginning, it's Acharya Chanakya who said that, as you know, in India we had four purusharthas, four things to be achieved in life: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. But it is found that Indians, he said, is neglecting the artha. He says that artha is everything, economics is everything. Without artha, it's anartha. It will be anarchy, and everything will be nirartha, meaningless in that case. And so very crucial subject it is, he claims, rightly so, isn't it? What is the definition of economics? The economics is the optimal utilization of available resources. Optimal utilization of available resources. As you know, resources are always limited and the bonds are unlimited. हजारों ख्वाहिशें ऐसी कि हर ख्वाहिश पर दम निकले. That's like a tragedy of the human being. So the available resources has to be utilized optimally and not exactly maximization, but optimization is a strategy. Like utilization is a better idea than exploitation. So how to optimize the use of resources? That's the main science or art. It is economics. Why we study economics in administration? The simple reason is that in administration, economics is the one which gives the answers to the problems in the front of us. If people come to the administrator with the issues like inequality, with the poverty, with the unemployment, we can't just calm them with the dry words. We have to give them some solution, and that solution you will get from the subject like economics. So worth studying it is, isn't it? So it's a part of general studies, paper 3. We'll see the syllabus word by word. Every word we'll see, don't worry about it. So the initially Indian economy, so they have made it clear and not world economy. First and itself Indian economy, and issues related to one, planning, second, mobilization of resources, third, development, and fourth, employment. So they have made the framework very clear. The 4 points of the framework: the planning, which is now replaced by Niti Aayog; mobilization of resources, mineral to human manpower, and then developmental aspects of the economy, and finally one of the crucial aspect, the employment. So these 4 aspects they have made it clear in the beginning only. We'll also see the questions from last 2 years, recent mains that happen and last mains that happen, to get to understand that how much UPSC correlate their questions with the syllabus. How much is the correlationship? Do they remain within that framework or they go outside it? Let's see. So from this exactly they ask the question like define potential GDP and explain its determinants. What are the factors that have been inhibiting the India from achieving its potential GDP? So GDP, GNP, national income, per capita income is a basic discussion in the developmental aspects, in the mobilization of resources and planning. Direct question has come, we can see in the means. Even this recent means the question has come, just which happened recently. Explain the difference between the computing methodology of India's GDP again, again GDP. And then they had asked bit technical before the year 2015 and after the year 2015. What are the changes made in the database especially, and what new series and base year is been taken, that we have to discuss. Related state question and directly related to the syllabus they asked, we can see. So economic growth versus economic development, this particular aspect keep reflecting in the questions again and again. Inclusive growth and issues arising from it. So today, as you know, the growth has to be inclusive. and development has to be sustainable. So that is a part of the syllabus. So see the questions that came last year, like COVID-19, it was one of the most important phenomena. Recently, everything has changed. Your economies has faced. Pandemic accelerated the class inequalities and poverty in the India. So inclusive growth, if there is exclusive growth happening, immediately the question has asked that how the class inequalities and the poverty is expanding in the COVID period. A lot of articles have come on it, and relatively straight question it is. Explain intragenerational and intergenerational issues of equity. There's a difference between equality and equity. Intragenerational and intergenerational issues of equity from the perspective of inclusive growth and sustainable development. So how to see this intergenerational interdevelopmental issues that within a generation and within two generations, how there is inequality growing up, class inequalities and issues. So similar question, but in the same means they asked it again, like so that shows that how much current the UPSC tried to be and how much relevant things they ask into it. Then in the present means, can the vicious cycle of gender inequality, poverty and malnourishment. So gender inequality one, second poverty, and third malnourishment. Three issues they asked, broken through the microfinancing. So microfinance, which is connected to the SHG movement, self-help group, one of the favorite topic of the UPSC, and like year by year they keep asking the questions on it. Explain with the examples. So direct questions of SHGs could be the nearest shortcut in eradicating the poverty, how it will help in the gender inequality, and how it can be helpful also in the tackling the issue of malnourishment. So again, very straight and direct from syllabus the question has come. Then another question has come, explain the role of gig economy in the process of empowerment of women in India. As you know, this gig economy is growing, and then there are companies like Swiggy, Zomato, Ola, Uber, and so many have come up, and women did get good opportunities in this sector. But what is found that they get slightly less paid less than men. They get do not get like safety and security enough into it. So while gig economy presents so many opportunities of flexible working hours, suitable work at home, but same time it also had some challenges. Question was expected very much and exactly has come in this means gig economy and empowerment of women. They have connected and asked. Another question has come. Do you agree that the Indian economy has recently experienced a V-shaped recovery? So a lot of discussion happened about a K-shape and a V-shaped recovery. K-shape is some sectors expanding and growing and enriching, like IT especially, and some others like tourism and street vendors. They have suffered a lot in the COVID period. While government, of course, in the economic survey and PIB news claimed that India has been growing at a V-shape, that is a fall in the pandemic, but recovery faster and equally coming up. So that debate is still going on. Give reasons in the support of your answer. UPSC expect the reasons to begin to be support. So reason it out, like whatever you say, yes or no. Then one of the common topic and one of the issue is the poverty and hunger in the India. So crucial topic it is for India, and immediately we see the questions in the last mains. The incidence and intensity of poverty are more important determining the poverty based on income alone. So various aspects of poverty are being covered. Its incidence, its intensity, its methodology of computing the poverty, what are the ways out of poverty, everything is covered like that. In this context, summarize the latest United Nations multidimensional poverty index report. As you know, India itself is following this MPI method for calculating the poverty. So about that they asked the question. Then another question again about microfinance. They asked how microfinance is anti-poverty vaccine. Just now this year they asked about how the microfinance is good in the women empowerment and gender equality. Now it's in poverty. It's an anti-poverty vaccine. It aimed at asset creation and income security of the rural poor in India. So as you know, the microfinance movement focus upon the rural poor. Evaluate the role of the self-help groups in achieving the twin objectives along with the empowering women in the rural India? So very similar question, slightly more angles put into it. So that was for 10 marks. This is for 15 marks. Then what are the silent features of National Food Security Act 2013? So current means it is asked. So expected only prelim also they are asking question on this act. One of the most ambitious act passed by the government of India after independence is the National Food Security Act. It has been giving the food to the 68% of the people of India nearly free by act itself. So hardly any country in the world has such a ambitious act passed. And it is 1 2 3 formula, 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 3 rupee. But for last 1.5 year, 80 crore people, we are literally giving free the food. Another record itself has been made. But this all become possible because of a Food Security Act, the homework we have done into it, and already running successfully this act. So question was expected only. It has become lifeline for the people in the times of pandemic. So silent features of the National Food Security Act of 2013. How has the food security will help in eliminating the hunger and malnourishment in? We are not able to eliminate exactly, but surely we are able to reduce the both hunger and malnourishment in the recent period. The question has been asked on it, expected only. Government budgeting is a topic given in the syllabus, and then questions are expected, of course. And then in the last year, explain the rationale behind the GST compensation to states act of 2017. So that time it was very much in news. GST compensation fund, finance minister called the COVID as act of God, and we cannot provide the full compensation to the states. States oppose. What do you mean by that? So expected question it was, how has the COVID-19 impacted the GST compensation fund and created new federal tensions? So topic and a question are related, of course. And then the recent means distinguish between capital budget and revenue budget. Related to theoretical question, straight question has come. Explain the components of both these budgets. So very simple question it is. Capital budget and revenue budget. Discuss how emerging technologies and globalization contribute to the money laundering. Another aspect of taxation ideas is black money creation, and this black money is taken out of the country and bought back as white money. So it's an activity of a money laundering that take place systematically. There are different techniques like placement, layering, integration. They took place, and then this money laundering hamper the economy. Question has come immediately. Elaborate measures to tackle the problem of money laundering. So measures both at national and international level. So even this is a general question. We regularly keep studying it in the economics that has been asked. Major crops and cropping pattern in various parts of the country. So this agriculture is one of the major part of the syllabus, and a lot of questions come on it, and rightly so. With the farmers movement, the whole subject has come to the front line, and therefore this is how the farmers are once upon a time met by the Prime Minister, we can say. So what are the present challenges before the crop diversification? How to achieve the crop diversification is one of the issue. How do emerging technologies provide an opportunity for cross crop diversification? The recent means expected question only. There is a lot of articles have come about India should go for cross diversification and come out of a right wheat cycle. Earlier in the green revolution, we have set up on the rice wheat cycle, which has been providing food security but creating a trouble also. So different types of irrigation and irrigation systems and issues and related constraints. Suggest measures to improve the water storage and irrigation system to make a judicious use under depleting scenario. Direct question has come on the irrigation and how under the hydrological drought situation we are passing through, what measures could be taken to get out of the situation. So there are so many traditional methods of water harvesting, like this is a pine method, ahars and pines are used in the Bihar, and it is used from the Mauryan and Nanda period. For last 5,000 years it has been used. So India has been expert in some traditional methods of a water storage. How and to what extent would micro irrigation will help in solving the India's water crisis? Expected only. We have got already done with the big dams, Bhakarnangal and Hirakud and Sardar Sarovar. We understood that they had limited use, more controversy. So now automatically we are shifting attention to the smaller dams and indeed the better method is called as the micro irrigation as the idea. So in the micro irrigation techniques, a lot of discussion happen like a drip irrigation, sprinkle irrigation. So they are very much in use and they are been asked exactly in the paper. Storage, no question has come, but as you know, from traditional methods of storage to the silos, new methods are emerged in storage ideas. Transport and marketing of agriculture produce, that is a part of syllabus. And see the question that has been asked last year: what are the main constraints in transport and marketing of agriculture produce in India? Now, can there be a state question than this? I don't think there cannot be a there can be a better or state question than this. State question from syllabus, word to word. On such type of question, one expect only a sixer and not a 4 runs or 2 runs, etc. E-technology in the aid of the farmers, another part of syllabus. And immediately question has come: how the science interwoven deeply in our lives? Now, outwardly a simple question. Everything now is dominated by science. What are the striking changes in the agriculture triggered off by the science-based technology? That's the main question then. Okay, how the science-based technology, like say drones, be used, call center ideas could be used, smartphones could be used. So how agriculture we can bring the technology and bring the change? That's the main concern now presently we had. Issues relating to direct and indirect farm subsidies. So as you know, farm subsidies is a reality and we cannot get rid of it immediately. But then what are the direct subsidies, what are the indirect subsidies, and how can they be rationalized? How can they be made more useful for the India? So what are the major factors responsible for making the rice wheat system as we discussed, a success? So that's a story of a green revolution that took place in India, how it was a success in short. In spite of this success, how this system has become the bane, instead of boon now it has becoming bane in the India. So that is the main discussion that happened recently about the farm laws and a movement that opposite. So you have to explain that how there is a need to go for crop diversification. So same question just now we have seen, same question they are asking in a different way. So that shows that how the recent issues which are on our mind dominating are being brought in the questions by UPSC. MSP, minimum support price, this is one of the expected area and most controversial area now. Farmers have put the government on notice that they want the MSP to be a part of a law, legal system. Let's see whether the government adhere to it or not. PDS is one of the favorite topic of the UPSC, public distribution system, and syllabus, what they given? PDS, objectives, they clearly given everything. Objectives, they expect functioning, they expect the limitation, and they expect the revamping. So that shows that how much clear cut the syllabus is. Many people have brought wrong ideas that UPSC is very vague in the syllabus or they don't have the proper syllabus. No, that's very wrong. They have given the syllabus very systematically and exactly the questions come on it in the prelim as well as mains. Issues of buffer stocks and the food security is also given the syllabus. So as you know, country has to maintain a huge buffer stock for such a huge population, and then food security is as important as national security. Indeed, it is one way, a sub-component of national security itself, we can say. Technology missions is another part of syllabus. As you know, India is having multiple technology missions in the field of agriculture. For example, National Saffron Mission, National Mission on Agriculture Extension and Technology, Jute Technology Mission, National E-Governance Plan in the Agriculture, Indian Digital Ecosystem of Agriculture, many are there. How these missions are going to have the technological interference or like create a interruption into the agriculture scenario, and how agriculture productivity will be to be taken to the next level, how we are going to do it. That's the main concern in these technology missions as a part of a syllabus in the UPSC mains. Economies of animal rearing is also part of it. So livestock sector of India is one of the most lively and lot of potential it has, not to say separately. Food processing and related industries in India, scope and significance. One of the favorite topic of UPSC to ask. One of the most potential employment generator in the country is of food processing. One of the best avenue for women empowerment is also food processing. So favorite to ask the questions. Location, again very detailed they are in the syllabus. Food processing location, upstream and downstream requirements of food processing, supply chain management. So clearly they asked. Even the question, let's see, what are the challenges and opportunities of food processing sector in the country? So straight a question like, can there be anything straight than this? What are the challenges and opportunities? Directly they asked. How can the income of the farmers be substantially increased by encouraging food processing? So again another like angle to it, that how this could be used to increase the income of the farmers in India. Land reforms in India, another part of syllabus, one of the favorite of the UPSC, and they keep asking question on it. Say for example, this means only how did the land reforms in some parts of the country help to improve the socio-economic condition? Is a favorite word of UPSC nowadays. Everything they ask is socio-economic conditions of a marginal and a small farmers. So that way relatively straight question, that how land reforms help or to the marginal and small farmers in improving the socio-economic conditions. Effects of liberalization on the economy. As you know, it began the story in 1991, and now at 2021 we completed the 30 years of reforms. A substantial period we have passed into it. A good time to look back and take a stock of what is achieved and what is missed into the journey. Apart from that, changes in the industrial policy and their effect on the industrial growth. So which are the different industrial policies? Different ideas like a national manufacturing zones are made, SEZ, special economic zones are made. So what are these new policies come up? What is the objective of them? And how we achieved it? Now recently Atmanirbhar Bharat, production linked incentives, PLI is in use recently. So this all discussion will come into this industrial policy discussion. Then next is the infrastructure as a part of syllabus, and again they are giving you detailed about it: energy, ports, roads, airport, railways, etc. So infrastructure is crucial for the India's growth, otherwise create a bottlenecks in the economy. So let's see the question that is recent means asked. Investment in infrastructure is essential for more rapid and inclusive economic growth. So that's anybody can tell. It's a common sense idea. Discuss the light of in the light of the India's experience. So what is the India's experience into it? So we have to give the examples to prove this particular statement right, that how investment in infrastructure is essential for rapid and inclusive economic growth. So very straight question, but of course answer has to be very innovative then. Then investment models is one of the topic in the syllabus. Investment model are various facets of a PPP, public-private partnership, BOT, TOT, and so many new ideas have emerged. Explain the meaning of investment in an economy in the terms of capital formation. So now the theoretical topic, capital formation, how the capital formation take place and how it is connected to investment and in return to the savings in the country. Discuss the factors to be considered while designing a concession agreement between the public entity and the private entity. So a lot of court cases happen in the PPP. If PPP is going profitable, then it's a good time. But then if PPP start making loss, the relationship soar up, and then both drag each other to the court, and then concession agreements come under the question. So about it, they ask the question. Expected only. Issues relating to development and management of a social sector services. So social sector is also one of the part. Yeah, so part of economics relating to health, education, and human resources. Three main aspects: health, education, and human resource are there covered in the syllabus. The next aspect is the population, what we call as a demography, the study of a population pattern and associated issues, poverty and developmental issues. How the poverty and developmental issues are connected, even that has been a part of it. Urbanization, their problems and the remedies. Again, as we have to manage the growth, we have to manage the urbanization. Urban areas are the engines of the economic growth. But if they are not planned properly, then the choking happen, pollution happen, and productivity declines. So if the question has come, present means, what are the main socio-economic implications? Again, the favorite word, socio-economic, of arising out of the development of IT industries in the major cities of India. So as you know, some cities like Hyderabad, Cyberabad has become the famous IT sector. Pune, Hinjawadi is a famous IT sector. Chandigarh, So there are some cities become famous for their IT sector, and even the Bangalore has electronic city. So how that impact the socio-economic implications are been there, that has been discussed into it. Important international institutions, agencies and fora, their structure and mandate. So now they haven't given a name. So we can assume that they are like World Bank, the older one, IMF, International Monetary Fund. These are like a traditional thing. And apart from this traditional, there are new one like a New Development Bank, or also called the BRICS Bank, or there is the AIIB, Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank. So questions come on this regularly in the prelim as well as in the mains. So now we have seen the syllabus. We have seen the questions of past 2 years asked in the mains on economics, and then we have tried to connect the questions with the syllabus, and we found that there is a direct correlation between the both. Best news indeed for those who are studying the economics. So overall, if you analyze the paper, interdisciplinary approach of mixed economics, economics is mixed with the say sometimes science, technology, society, socio-economic ideas, of course with the current and current issues like United Nations multidimensional poverty report and how Indian poverty is connected to that, etc. Opinion assessment type questions continue to dominate. This type of questions keep coming. What do you think? Comment, etc. In such questions, you have to pause, think, arrange the points in logical sequence, and then give the answer. Nearly from the heading given in the syllabus, questions have come. That we already proved the point. Thus, show the attempt by the commission to make aspirant play all over the ground. But then they have like dispersed the questions all over the syllabus. They haven't like focused on one part of syllabus only and asked all questions there like. So they have covered the whole ground. We can see. We specifically have apart from present means the direction given to the question, and we can see the hardly they repeat anything. One question they said explain, other they said examine, other they said do you agree, then they said silent features, then they said distinguish between, then there is a discuss, elaborate, how, what extent. So this all is interesting one like each one has a different meaning, different connotation. One has to understand in that way and then give the answer. It's not all same as some may think, and the answer differs according to the prefix or suffix they have given with the statement in the question. So strategy overall is that syllabus is presented more as an interdisciplinary description. Many points are related to economics mixed up or joined with the other points. That is one of the point. Some traditional part is maintained. So here, joining the other points, you can't sometimes differentiate whether it's a geography question or eco question or polity question sometimes. They are said general studies, GS. It's like a broader heading, and under that they give the question. So even economics questions come in GS1 also sometimes, not only in the GS3. Some traditional part is maintained intact in the syllabus like planning, growth, development, poverty, employment, health, education. These are all traditional part, liberalization, globalization, budgeting, etc. But some topics are very contemporary in their approach. Like food processing is a contemporary approach thing, supply chain management, infrastructure, investment models, farm subsidies, PDS. So there is a mix in the syllabus. Some part is traditional, which regular issues of Indian economy, and some part in the syllabus they have covered is the contemporary issues, more relevant presently for us. Investment model includes the models of PPP like BOOT, BOIT, BOT, and also SEZ, FTA, FDI, FPI, etc. Banking, stock market, and insurance are not being specifically given in the syllabus, interestingly. And then no question also has been asked on them. So then they are not given in the syllabus, there is no question asked by them. So it's okay. Then you can keep it as the last priority then for studying mains at least. So you can observe that nearly 15 points have been covered in the syllabus dedicated to the economics, and nearly 150 to 200 marks questions are asked. So around 15 to 20% marks of the mains GS paper is been like covered by the topic economics. So from the trend of the questions, we can observe that a comment type questions on real or hypothetical issues are being covered by the UPSA. So you have to use all your reading, creativity, imagination, presentation, to write an answer, and your answer is going to be unique and different from others, the overall the content may be the same. Since the economics is highly conceptual subject, understanding has to be built up, which is not possible overnight. Daily efforts has to be taken to understand this subject. Keep learning, keep reading, keep understanding. Reading, writing, reciting, these are the integral part of the study. Group discussion will also sharpen the facts, and group discussion will help. To start with, one should get interested in the subject. The getting interested is the best idea. You get interested, everything is interesting. Otherwise, everything may be boring. And start giving attention to news relating to the economics in newspaper, radio, TV, or internet. So start taking interest, start having discussion. Automatically, you'll find it's a very, very interesting subject. Some solutions for board reading I can give. NCERT, of course, is the best to start with if you have not read it already. Like Yojana is one of the best magazine published by the Publication Division. Economic Survey of India, Volume 1. For the Volume 1 has a like broader discussion on various topics, say universal basic income or data, use of a data for the public service. So there is detailed discussion they do, which helps in writing the mains answer. It also helps in writing an essay and building understanding. So Volume 1 of Economic Survey is worth for the mains. Even budget speech is worth reading, which is now going to come now. Somnathan Iyer writes in the Sunday Times of India, Swaminomics. That's worth reading a column. 11 chapters from Government India Yearbook. I will not say all, but selectively you can read. And apart from that, suppose you are reading some competition magazine, don't miss to read the economic fact file from it. NCERT, basic thing like one should read macroeconomics, Indian economic development. Strong recommendation. Do read the NCERTs if you have not read it earlier. Popular references are like Indian Economy written by Ramesh Singh. Is one of the most popular book in the market. For mains only perspective you want to see, then the Indian Economy by the Sanjeev Verma is one of the excellent, like a good understanding is been there into it. Especially conceptual hold you can get from it. And anything which like complement or like competition to the Ramesh Singh or do not do Ramesh Singh, then there is Nitin Singhania recently book has come, Indian Economy. It also covers the all aspects. So Sanjeev Verma is mainly for mains, while the Ramesh Singh will be used for prelim plus mains. Even the Nitin Singhania's Indian Economy could be used for both prelim as well as mains. You can use any one of these three. I will not recommend to go for all the three as such. You can of course do the Good Morning with the Indian Express or Hindu. Paper reading is still most, even if you read the books and magazines. In every newspaper, like whether Hindu or Express, there is a business commerce page. Don't skip it. Keep reading it. Keep reading important articles. Keep analyzing it. My Telegram channel is also there. I will keep updating the important articles related to economics on it. Even you can refer to that. Once in the week, you can try a pink paper. Pink paper is the one which is dedicated to the economic subject. I will not recommend to read it daily, but once in the week it's fine. Like we can try it. So this way, thank you for patiently listening my presentation. Hope it will help you in your success. Best of luck.